it's clear that I would be concerned if I was the president, and that's why I wanted him to know. And I felt like I had a duty and obligation to tell him because, as you know, he's been taking a lot of heat in the news media. And I think to some degree there are some things that he should look at to see whether, in fact, he thinks the collection was proper or not.
All right, that was the House Intelligence Committee Chairman, Devin Nunes, on this show last night detailing why he had a duty to brief the president about the surveillance reports. Joining us now with a reaction, Fox News contributor and former Trump deputy campaign manager Dave Bossie and the president of Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton. You know, I got to tell you, Dave, I know you were there. You could be one of these people, by the way, because we know that this happened November, December, January for sure. Sarah Carter thinks some of it even started before the election. Really serious stuff if you care about the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, other constitutional amendments. What's your reaction?
You know, Sean, that's correct. And I was there during, obviously, the campaign, but I was also the deputy executive director of the presidential transition team. So I was there all the way through inauguration. And it is a little bit disconcerting that you could find yourself caught up in this. And it's one thing to talk about the politics of it or the investigation, but when somebody asks you a question about you, that makes it a little bit different. So it's very disconcerting. But I got to tell you, I'm troubled that Mike Flynn's name was unmasked. I'm troubled by this entire episode of what we're going through because there were deep sources within our government that wanted to betray our national security and really try to do harm to President Trump's administration and as he took office.
Tom, under the auspices of trying to protect America and surveil foreign intelligence, I think the most disconcerting aspect of this is the fact that they may very well have used that as an excuse to surveil not only the president-elect, but those around him in the transition team, people like Dave Bossie.
I agree, Sean, and Chairman Nunes is understating the issue here. I mean, you had Nixon's plumbers. Now it looks like we had Obama's cyber plumbers going out there culling intelligence that is supposedly gathered only for, as you say, foreign, to protect the national security of the United States. Instead, it was inappropriately targeting, not just incidentally, but targeting, it sounds like, President Trump and his incoming team. And then it was obviously illegally leaked. These are potentially criminal violations of law. Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, then U.S. Senator, was also targeted, according to the Wall Street Journal, with, quote, an investigation. So he probably can't make any decisions here. And that's why I think you need a special counsel out of the Justice Department to investigate who in the Obama administration was involved in either the targeting, the surveillance, or the subsequent unmasking, as it's being told. You know, look, unmasking is a nice way of saying they were sending around gossipy information about the president's advisors, information obtained through wiretaps and intelligence surveillance. Outrageously illegal, beyond the pale, and there's nothing to compare in recent memory other than Watergate in terms of presidential malfeasance.
This is why the questions that Sarah Carter is asking are so prevalent here and need to be answered. Who knew what, when, and where? How high up did this go? How aware were they? You know, if you deal with either unmasking or the lack, you know, they're supposed to use minimization processes, Dave, and that is that they're supposed to, if an American, if you don't have a warrant to listen to an American, you're never supposed to identify that person. Then you have the whole intelligence leaking on top of it. So we're talking about three separate things, and it was widely disseminated, as Devin Nunes said. That makes it even more troublesome.
Yeah, and so we do know that one law was actually broken, and that was the unmasking of Mike Flynn's name. We do know that. Somebody broke the law, and that is a felony, and that's committed by somebody inside the intelligence community, maybe an Obama holdover, maybe a career bureaucrat that dislikes President Trump, but somebody inside the FBI and the Department of Justice needs to get to the bottom of it. But I will say this, the organizations of Congress, the House and Senate, need to hold investigations and use their subpoena power and deposition authority that they have to be able to uncover exactly what happened here and do it very quickly. Devin Nunes and others on the Hill can call people in very quickly.
Where's James Comey? Tom Fitton.
Well,
where's he?
That would not be necessarily public. I want to do it in congressional hearings so that it can become made public.
Even better, Sean, we have the Freedom of Information Act. The president can, and his appointees can order the release of this information. Obviously, if there's direct classified information that can't be released, we don't want to see that. But we can get the details necessary to draw conclusions about whether what was going on was right or not. And this is a tool available to the president right now, and certainly to the administration. Let it all hang out, enforce the transparency laws on this issue. You know, it's interesting, Nunes comes out and exposes government malfeasance, and is attacked by the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Democrats in Congress. Nunes is a hero in terms of doing what public officials are supposed to do, and it's good to see finally a congressman find out something going wrong in the administration or an administration and releasing it quickly.
All right, guys, good points on all counts. Thanks for being with us. This story is not